All right, what's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. So, breaking news, or at least I think it is breaking news. It is alleged that Shannon Sharpe has agreed to go on First Take, aka is agreeing to go on ESPN with Stephen A. Smith. Now, why I say it's it's allegedly news is because Stephen A. Smith came out and said in a video saying, and on his podcast saying that he would love to have Shannon Sharpe, that he's heard the news and stuff. It would be great for him to have Shannon Sharpe, but Shannon Sharpe has not signed the dotted line yet. But we can safely assume that Shannon Sharpe has come to an agreement. Maybe he hasn't signed the dotted line. Maybe he has to go fly somewhere and sign, but it hasn't happened yet that ESPN has gotten Shannon Sharpe. But I'm going to make this video just in case and just why. Just in case he does sign, and assuming that he will sign, because let's be for real, news like this wouldn't leak, especially from a big corporation like ESPN, without Shannon Sharpe and without ESPN's approval. But Shannon Sharpe on First Take. Now, I just have one question. Will Shannon Sharpe be good on First Take? Will Shannon Sharpe be good on First Take? Now, the alleged contract or the alleged deal is that Shannon Sharpe will be on Mondays and Tuesdays talking about football. And on face value, that sounds good because Shannon Sharpe, one of his bright spots is that he talks good on football. And, Stephen A. Smith, talks football on this show. Football season's coming up. But here's the problem, though. What are they going to do when they talk about the Cowboys? What are they going to do when Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith talk about the Cowboys? Because majority of sports talk, especially when it is football, that the majority of the talk is about the Cowboys. Say what you want about the Cowboys, and trust me, I'm a Giants fan. I hate the Cowboys. I really do. They're America's team. They're the most popular team in the NFL, in the world. They're the Lakers. They're the Yankees. That's just a fact. They're America's team, whether they're winning or whether they're losing. Popularity-wise, they're America's team. And people might say, the Steelers or the Patriots are America's team. No. Popularity-wise, the Cowboys are the most popular team in the United States. When you go across every single state, you will find Cowboys fans, unfortunately. They're like roaches. They're everywhere. And even across the globe, you'll probably find Cowboys fans. That's how popular they are. And American football is not as popular as it is in America globally. But when it comes to that, Stephen A. Smith is an antagonist towards the Cowboys. So is Shannon Sharpe. How is that going to work? I think people are forgetting the secret weapon here, or people are forgetting something. This all relies on if Michael Irvin comes back to ESPN, if ESPN kind of forgets about what happened to Michael Irvin with the whole, I guess, scandal with some woman or whatever. And listen, look, anybody who's watched the video knows that Michael Irvin's innocent. Like, the girl was trying to hit on Irvin. You can see the girl touching up all on Michael and talking to him. And Michael's just being Michael, talking to her. And says, and I guess like he gives her like a handshake or whatever the case may be. You could tell nothing happened. But in today's movement, in today's era, I'm not even gonna go into it. But when it comes to Stephen A. and Shannon Sharpe, I think they need Michael Irvin, especially when they talk about the Cowboys. Because once again, Stephen A. Smith, 50% of him talking football, or maybe even more, 60, 70% of it is talking about the Cowboys. How is that going to work if you have two guys there who both don't like the Cowboys? What made Stephen A. and Skip Bayless work is that you have one protagonist, one antagonist towards the Cowboys. What made Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless work is that you have one protagonist, one antagonist towards the Cowboys. If you have Michael Irvin, Stephen A., and Shannon Sharpe, first of all, that's must-see TV. That's must-see TV. That might be bigger than the Miami Heat 3, right? The Miami Heat Big 3. That might be bigger than the Boston Big Three. You got Irvin, Sharpe, and Stephen A. Please, that's must-see TV every Monday and Tuesday. And also, you have Shannon and Stephen A. antagonist. You have Michael Irvin, the protagonist. And Michael Irvin's such a big personality. He's such uh he's such a big personality that he can handle both Stephen A. and Shannon Sharpe. But Michael Irvin is a key piece here for this to work. And no one's really talking about that. Maybe because they're just excited that Shannon Sharpe found a new home. He found a new job, and it's with ESPN with Stephen A. Who's as big as personality as Skip. So maybe that's why people are not talking about it. But once again, going back to Shannon Sharpe, if he does sign the deal with ESPN. Well, we're gonna assume that he's gonna sign the deal with ESPN because once again, news like this doesn't break unless Shannon and ESPN both agree to it. Maybe he hasn't officially signed yet because he has to fly out to wherever First Take is. I think it's in New York here. So I guess he has to fly out and sign the actual papers, but you never know. I think this is a great move business-wise, just business-wise. We don't know how it's going to work on TV, and that's why I was talking about Michael Irvin stuff. But business-wise, I think this is a great move for Shannon Sharpe. I do criticize Shannon Sharpe a lot because I think he's fake, especially off camera. I think he's fake, but that's besides the point. As a businessman, this is perfect. This is a great thing for Shannon because you're only working, twice a week? Shannon Sharpe, I think he lives out in LA. He either lives out in LA or he lives out in Georgia. Because I know he's from Georgia and I know he used to live out in LA when he used to do for Undisputed. But he can literally call in Zoom on First Take, sit there for 2 hours, and him and Stephen A go at it, and him and Stephen A and Michael Irvin can go at it, and then go do his YouTube channel and have all these sponsorships. That is a great business move by Shannon. So you're literally getting paid part-time. You're doing part-time work for ESPN. And Shannon Sharpe's probably going to get, 10, 15 million. Then plus his YouTube and plus all the sponsorships that he has. This is a great move for Shannon Sharpe. This really is. It's not like he's a permanent guest, which is a good thing because I think Stephen A rotating between Shannon, Michael Irvin if he comes back, Chris Russo. Who else does he have on? JJ Redick and Kendrick Perkins when it's basketball. I forgot who else he has on there too because I really don't watch First Take as I used to. But this is a great move on both parts. Stephen A gets Shannon Sharpe. He gets another guy who knows his football, and I might criticize Shannon Sharpe, but he knows his football. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Now, the only thing is they need Michael Irvin, man. They need the playmaker because, once again, you have Michael Irvin, the protagonist for the Cowboys, and then you have Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith, the antagonist for the Cowboys. That's must-see TV. That must-see TV. And I know Skip is probably shaking in his boots that Shannon that Stephen A might have Michael and Shannon both talking about the Cowboys. Both talking about the Cowboys. And listen, I got Mondays off, so I'll definitely be watching, especially when the Cowboys lose. And I get to see Michael Irvin and Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe. But I once again, I'm a Giants fan. I hate the Cowboys. I really do. But Michael Irvin's reaction and what he might do when the Cowboys win, especially if they make the playoffs. Must see TV. But once again, watch out for this too. Stephen A. Smith disputes Shannon Sharpe's First Take report. I'm just going to assume that, he hasn't physically signed, but I think verbally he said, okay, I'll come work with Stephen A. and stuff like that. So maybe Stephen A. is not trying to jump the gun. But once again, man, as it goes for Shannon Sharpe, this is a great move business-wise. On paper, we have to see. We have to see. Because once again, 50% or even more of Stephen A. Smith's coverage is on the Cowboys, specifically to football. And having two antagonists towards the Cowboys will not work. However, with Michael Irvin, once again, must-see TV. Must-see TV. But hey, man, that's my thoughts, man. What are yours? What's your thoughts on Shannon Sharpe signing with ESPN and being on First Take? Do you think it's gonna be good? Do you think it's gonna be bad? And do you think he will be good on First Take, especially talking about the Cowboys? And do you think my idea with Stephen A, Shannon, and Michael Irvin on football coverage for First Take be good? But that's my thoughts. What are yours? RJ out.